So, I am going to hop into Slay the Spire, and, we'll talk about some stuff, random stuff, which is why we're going to delete this. And despite, what this says, I have actually beaten Slay the Spire before, so, continuing the tradition of never playing anything that I haven't beaten. Rambles. So, first things first, I don't feel like playing any video games right now. So yeah, any intention I had of playing like a big RPG, I do have, quite a few of them downloaded and on the desktop ready to go. I just genuinely don't feel like playing, a big epic right now. I do not need the tutorial. And I turn it off. Tutorial. Yeah, I don't see it. But I'm going to turn fast mode on, definitely. But yeah. So, since I don't feel like, doing a big thing that I actually have to actively pay attention to, I'm just going to play some Slay the Spire, which will give me time to just talk endlessly. And more importantly, I don't have to edit anything. I'm just going to upload this, so, anything I say or do, they could potentially skip. Just going to be unedited, which means all of the rambling is going to be kept completely intact. With that in mind, the Game Awards happened. And yeah, just a couple of comments. God of War swept. Big surprise. It did not sweep what some might consider the, big award. But God of War, taking over was not a major upset. What did surprise me was the Game of the Year winner, Elden Ring. I honestly didn't think it would beat God of War because, if you've seen God of War, like, even the first, just 30 minutes, it gives off the feeling, at least to me, of a movie that's like, they're going for the Oscar. That's what God of War felt like, in video game form. Like, it's going for that Game of the Year award. It wants it. That's definitely the feel I got. Yeah. Definitely the feel I got from God of War. Right? So I was genuinely, honestly surprised when, it was sweeping all day, for real. It was definitely sweeping. And then major upset. Right? But, you know what? Let me rephrase that. Major, but it was not an upset, right? I'm not upset by the fact that, Elden Ring, which took over the world, right, for a few months there, took Game of the Year. But one thing at the Game Awards, I do feel like, I want to be like, this got shafted. Sonic Frontiers, believe it or not. Not that I was like, Sonic Frontiers needs to be the winner of any of these categories, because honestly, no, I didn't see it being up there and winning, but not nominated for any of it. And I kind of get it. Like, best soundtrack, like, soundtracks are what Sonic games are made of. Like, if anything's been consistent, the most consistent from Sonic Team and the Sonic games, despite the inconsistency in quality, it's largely been the soundtrack. They've had some definite hit or miss, but still. But I get it. I get it. You can't really compare, like, going back to a Sonic Adventure soundtrack to, a Mario Galaxy. Although I don't think those two. What was the Sonic game around at the time of Mario Galaxy? Lost World? What's the Happy Flower? Every 3 turns. Okay. Was it Odyssey? I mean, not Odyssey. Was it Lost World? That's a bad example, because Lost World is one of those that I'm like, not the best soundtrack we got going on here. Not your A game. But yeah, Sonic was up there for one thing, and that is, to me, the major upset of the night. Oof. Wait a minute. At the start of your turn, at a random... No. So the major upset of the night for me, personally, was when... Wait, did I say Sonic Forces? Yo, say the words. Say Frontiers like 5 times, and then say Forces 5 times, and then try to just keep them, you know, completely in check. They sound very similar, despite, you know, not being very similar words. Frontiers, Forces. Oof. But yeah, it was like the Voters' Choice award. That one was the major upset. And it was a major upset because, yo, I was in the trenches voting for Frontiers. The crazy part, because Genshin Impact won, okay? That's the thing to know. Genshin Impact won. The thing about it that is the craziest part about it to me is what they beat out. Like, I get Sonic beating that stuff out because, yo, we just having fun. Memes. Like, I don't doubt that there are people who genuinely believe that, you know, Frontiers was a better game than Elden Ring or God of War, or was it Xenoblade 3 up there with those two? Yeah, there are definitely people out there who are of that belief. I was voting for Frontiers. Oof, big oof. But yeah, I was voting for Frontiers because of the memes, and it was fun. And, you know, despite, you know, me saying that, not a bad game. Does it deserve to be Game of the Year? Thanks, no. But yeah, Frontiers got shafted by Genshin Impact, which, like, I can't comment on. Genshin's a gacha game, right? Or is it like is it an MMO? No, it's definitely like a PC gacha game. All I've ever heard of Genshin is that it's like Breath of the Wild, a free-to-play Breath of the Wild. And I don't know how accurate that is. I've never personally played it. Right? So I can't comment on the quality or anything. And, you know, it beating Frontiers, not to say Forces, it beating Frontiers, not, you know, too big of a deal, not too upsetting or anything like that. But, like, it's more so what they beat out, right? That's what, like, gets me. Because both Elden Ring, the thing that won Game of the Year, as well as God of War, the thing that swept, were both contenders on there. And to me, Sonic, you know, beating those two makes sense just because, like I said, we're having fun. But Genshin beating them handedly, it just reminds me of... Oof. It genuinely just reminds me of... What is it? What am I trying to say? It reminds me of... I was hoping for something better. It reminds me of Fortnite, Among Us, you know, pretty much everything that I never really got into, but it took over the world. Like, massive games, big, you know, giant games that were completely unavoidable. And so while I never played Among Us, because, you know, I was still out there in the workforce, I wasn't completely shut down personally. Obtain a random X, no. So I never got into the Among Us craze, right? But it was unavoidable, and I definitely saw plenty of Among Us. Wait, was Among Us there at the Game Awards? I think Among Us VR was, and there was an announcement for a new game mode or something. That was also there. And so Genshin just reminds me of that. It reminds me of something massive that I've definitely heard of, but for the most part, I've completely avoided, intentionally or otherwise. And so, I don't know. I feel like that's the gamers have spoken type moment more so than anything else, really. Like, that tells me I want to be like, Genshin winning, that is not a meme. It's not a joke. Like, if Sonic won, I would honestly have said or been like, yeah, it won. The memes. Right? But Genshin won. And I don't think that it was in the same boat. I genuinely don't believe Genshin is in that same boat of or a lot of people are just voting for it because we want to see it win. Right? I don't believe it's in that boat like Sonic Frontiers was. Not that Sonic Frontiers wasn't a, good game. A fun-ass Sonic game. It was the last Sonic game that I would honestly say, before Frontiers, was good. Let me try to dial back. There's Forces before it. Heck no. I think Boom before Forces, right? So no. I want to say it wasn't Generations. It was Colors Ultimate. I know that much. Freaking Colors Ultimate, dude. But we can't count that. That would just go under Colors, which I would not say Colors is a better game than Frontiers. Heck no. But you know what? No, it wasn't about, the last better Sonic game. It was about the last good Sonic game. And I would say, yeah, I would say, wait, I genuinely don't remember this. Relic is used up. Oh, this was a thing that was like the bank, right? What was, yeah, I'll just say no, not Generations. Generations is way old. Yeah, Generations is like, oof. I would think about how old Generation is. I'm sorry. We'll just say Colors. We'll just say Colors to be safe, because I genuinely do not remember. I'm sorry. But yeah, Sonic has been, come on, it's a roller coaster. Up, down, down, up, all that good stuff, right? Choose a card and return to your hand. I did not choose that card, thank you. And so, I was of the camp of giving it to Frontiers. The fakey fake, I don't really want to call it fake, but, the Viewer's Choice Award type deal. That I was down for, let's throw this at Forces. Or, Forces. Frontiers. Yeah. I'm not upset by the turnout. I'm actually very happy with the Game Awards. Not because of what won and what lost and all of that good stuff. No, that wasn't the factor. I'm happy of all of the stuff we got to see. Although it's always weird to me. Well, I can't say always because I don't really know. I can't remember like even last year's Game Awards. But I don't know. I want to say it's weird to me that there's always like games that don't show up that are like really, really recent. Oh, 1 second. I actually need to read this. Upgrade 2 random skills. I don't even know if I have skill cards. Oh, defense cards or skill cards. Okay. Enemies elite have 25% less health. That actually is goated. Upon pickup, raise your max health and heal all your HP. What else we got? Can I buy all of this? We got that thing that's like 50% off. Gimme. We can. But I want to get this though. So we'll remove a regular block, right? Yeah. And we can't afford it. Okay. So, what was I saying? Wait, what? Oh, yeah, I wish I had the money to buy that. Let me see. Yeah, remove another regular block. What was I saying? Something about Frontiers, right? No, it wasn't about Frontiers. Like, I don't know that it would have won. I don't know that there was, like, even a horror category at the Game Awards. Oh, my memory is very short. Like, I don't know if there was a horror category. Like, I don't know that it would even make sense for there to be a horror category at the Game Awards, because, I mean, it would just be filled with indies. I feel like you need, you specifically need awards that are going to be like, you know that you're going to get that many games, or you're going to get those kinds of games in a year, and you're going to have an adequate amount. So like sports games, you can reliably have a sports games category because, well, they're just going to come out, right? I don't know that you can reliably have a dedicated horror category, mostly because I'm just like, what if, like, did 5, like, I want to be like, discard everything that isn't AAA, but how many freaking horror games that were not indie or crowdfunded or whatever even came out this year? All I can think of is Callisto Protocol, which, is that even indie now? Because it's like the remnants of, not Bloober Team, Visceral, right? The remnants of Visceral make up what did Dexterity even do? I don't even know. But yeah, I don't know. So the thing I was saying is that it's always weird to me that, you know, voting for the Game Awards happens, all of that stuff, and then it's like there are still games coming out up until then, and they just aren't getting voted on or potentially getting any votes or being even showcased or running because, well, yeah, they were just out too late, I guess. And Callisto Protocol is one of those. I could check the Steam, like, newest games list and see anything else, but yeah. Actually, in fact, I'm gonna do that. Give me 1 second. Okay, I don't even know what I was expecting by looking there. It's not like Steam was going to list, like, games that exclusively came out this year. But yeah, I did see a couple of things that, you know, at the Game Awards got zero mention or representation or anything. Like, the new Star Ocean, the new Valkyrie profiles, the new whatever. I don't know. That's also very weird to me. And it's not weird because, you know, it's bad. It's weird because once upon a time, you know, an RPG category to me would be just filled with nothing but turn-based games. Once upon a time, if you had an RPG category, all you had up in there, gain 2 vulnerable at the start of your turn, gain 1. All you would have in there are your square turn-based games, right? Yo, wait, what? Receive a reward based on, oh, I'm giving something up? Yeah, take this. I don't care, you removed it from my deck. That's reward enough. But, like, I'm trying to think. Did Dragon Quest, what was it, 11 was the most recent one? At the time of me recording this, anyway. Did it even get nominated for anything in the year that it was released? I don't know that it did. I don't know. I don't think that, you know, the new Valkyrie profile or the new Star Ocean got shafted. Like, that's not what I'm getting at. Just, I don't know, weird to me that those are things that didn't, they just weren't even mentioned. Callisto Protocol, while not mentioned technically, right? It never got mentioned. It did show up in the form of It did show up at, what was it? Was it promotion? Yeah, it was like a promo video or trailer for the game. Callisto Protocol, my opinion, I don't have one. I didn't play Callisto Protocol, and I never will, because it is a horror game, and I am a huge coward. Despite the fact that, you know, I have horror games on Steam. I don't know, support the developers, even though, you know, that's a huge crock, because one of the developers being Visceral Games, and Dead Space, and I have Dead Space on Steam. It's like, Visceral ain't getting none of that. It went to EA. Ugh. Ugh. That's how I feel about that. But yeah, what was I even talking about? What was I even talking about before I got sidetracked, you know, by EA? As things usually are. Other things at the Game Awards. Nothing really. I genuinely have nothing else to add or even talk about or mention about the Game Awards, right? I genuinely have nothing. I'm about to no. No. Don't you do that. Do this. And roll. Apply through week. Draw 3 cards. Draw 5 cards. Randomize the cost. Do it. I was hoping to get a 0 cost card. What else is there to talk about / ramble about? Nothing else at the Game Awards. Hades 2, you know, probably, definitely, like the biggest announcement there, right? Because Hades 2 was trending, like, after the fact. And I don't think anything else was. Not that I remember. I'm talking about the trailer video. A lot of fighting game news, too. A lot of fighting game news. I'm just kind of screwed at this point because of these cost cards. So yeah, a lot of fighting game news. Sadly, no new Mortal Kombat news, which is what I was hoping for the most. And that's not sarcasm. It might have sounded like it, but it definitely wasn't. Mortal Kombat, probably my most invested in fighting game, all because of that movie in the 90s. Soundtrack by the Immortals, you know the one. Hopefully, still the best video game movie to date. I mean, it really isn't anymore, but I'm gonna keep claiming that it is. Gotta keep it alive, right? Gotta keep it alive. So, with that in mind, Hades 2. I did beat Hades 1, although I will say that Hades 1 wasn't in early access when I beat it. That's not the case, but it was like, I beat it before it was like, not fully upgraded. What the heck am I trying to say? I beat it and there were still updates for the game coming out. Shame. What is in my deck? Okay, give me this. Oh wait, really? Okay. Well then we'll walk. But yeah, I beat it when there were still updates and things coming out for the game, right? So I haven't, well, I can't say I haven't gone back to it since then because I did that failed recording. If I want to play Hades 2, I have to beat, well, okay, that's true. If I want to play Hades 2 for the channel, I have to beat Hades 1 on the channel because that's my stupid self-imposed rule that I came up with and hopefully, you know, can keep alive, right? Wait a minute. I'm trying to think. What have I played? What have I played on this channel? Have I played a sequel to something that I haven't actually, you know, beaten outright? Like the prequel of. Star Ocean 1, we started with the first Star Ocean there. That's nice. That's good. That's adequate or accurate. I want to say, no, I didn't play Dead Rising. I mean to, though. I mean to. I am a huge coward. I mentioned that when I was talking about Callisto Protocol. Huge coward. Believe it or not, I am terrified of Dead Rising as well. When the lights go out in the mall, I go out. I'm out. Alright? That's just the deal with me. A huge, huge coward. Right? That's how big of a coward I am. But, you know, I'm willing to take it to bat for Dead Rising as a franchise. Although, you know, if I do Dead Rising 1, that's one thing. Dead Rising 2, that's another thing and a fun thing too, especially Case West. Would I play Case West or would I play the OG? Case West. I would probably play Case West personally. Because, believe it or not, I have never played Case West. I've played Dead Rising 2. I've beaten Dead Rising 2. Believe it or not. Go figure. If I plan on playing it for the channel, of course I beat it. I never played Case West. I never played or beat Case West. That's the thing. But I do own it now, and I kind of want to. Whenever you lose health, draw one card. At the start of your turn, draw 2 additional cards. Start each combat confused. Whenever you draw a card, randomizes cost. Non-boss chests are cursed. Add a curse. Give me. But yeah, as I was saying, Dead Rising, Disgaea, Star Ocean, Summon Night. Yeah, I did play Summon Night, but I did not play Summon Night 1. Mostly because Summon Night's just a, like, I don't know how to say it. It's one of those weird franchises where I don't know where to start without looking at like a wiki or like the Wikipedia page, because it's just, ugh. What was the first Summon Night game? Well, you think it was Summon Night 1, but yo, I looked, I didn't necessarily find a Summon Night 1. But then again, like, that was at the beginning. I don't know that I would have even have recognized it. I do know of other, like, if I'm going to talk about it, I want to play, what is it? It's like Summon Night 8, 6, something. It's for the PSP. That Summon Night, I started it, like, on my PSP, way back when it was coming out. And I never got around to beating it. I got like, I want to say I had like, yo, I'm about to turn this into just talking about the PSP for real. But like, I had like, I want to say 25 hours in that game, and I still hadn't beaten it, but it was so much fun. I was having so much fun with that game. Ah, man, I love the PSP. What gets me is that the PSP lost to the DS. That is insane to me. That is absolutely ridiculous to me. Heal you for 25% or 20%. Okay, save that. But yeah, it's insane to me that the PSP lost, because I owned both a PSP and a DS. You know, one of those never rich, okay, one console household, always and forever. But somehow could get 2 handhelds at the time. Actually, you know what? What I think it was like a tax return thing, and we were getting gifts. And I think at that point, my sister got like a used car or something, and I got a PSP and a DS or something like that. I think I got the DS for Christmas, and then come tax, whatever, I got a PSP, which, you know, I ain't mad about. I'm actually very happy. I love the damn PSP. Right. Never owned a Vita. Yeah, I'm not gonna say the Vita was a step too far. Just by the time the Vita was around, I was on to cost 0. Gimme. How much damage do we need to do? Okay. Yeah, I was past that point, man. I was done. So, yeah. The PSP, the OG PSP, yes, mine was jailbroken or whatever the heck it was called. I had all of the not all of the Game Boy games. I had a bunch of Pokemon games on there. I had, I think I had Mario Kart, but this was way early. I don't know if they kept going with we're going to make emulation better on the PSP. I don't know if they kept going with that. But at the time when I had Mario Kart and Mario 64 on it, they did not run smooth. Right? This fight right here, the worst. It's still crazy to me that the PSP lost, because I remember so many games. The thing that like gets me is that, like I said, owned a DS, owned a PSP. I had so many games from my PSP, and I was always broke and could never get like other games that I wanted, because there were just too many games that I wanted for the thing. Whereas for my Nintendo DS, which I had, look, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not a hater. I don't hate Nintendo, okay? But I usually don't come out of pocket for a full price Nintendo game. I don't usually do it. There are some exceptions. Typically, not the major first-party Nintendo franchises, which is blasphemy. Those are the main ones you come out in, full force for, right? You got to come out for your Mario Odysseys, your Breath of the Wilds, and all of that. And I'm like, look, you can hate me for it. I know what I'm getting from Mario Odyssey. I know what I'm getting from Breath of the Wild. I know I'm getting a solid, great game experience. And I say that, and maybe my tone betrayed me trying to say it in a specific way. But what I wanted to convey is that it's... How do I say it? You can be generically good, right? You can be a safe bet. Like, I'm picking up a hamburger from a restaurant that I've been to 1 billion times, and I know it's a good hamburger. I know it's a great hamburger, right? That's honestly me in freaking first-party Nintendo games. I have no doubt whatsoever. It is not a gamble to buy or to pick up that game. It is a guaranteed thing. It's gonna be, well, okay, they've had their misses. They definitely have. But typically, I'm in for a solid, bare minimum, 8 out of 10, what is it? I feel like there's a consistent average game length, too, when we're talking about first-party Nintendo. But I can't think of it off the top of my head. But yeah, but still. And, what doubles up on that? Like I said, I don't usually out of pocket for a first-party Nintendo game. So guess what? Choose an attacker or power card, add a copy of that card to your hand. Pass. So you can imagine, or rather you can guess, because Nintendo has this thing where they typically keep their games full price, period. Right. Every first-party Nintendo game for the Switch I've played, Breath of the Wild, Odyssey, what do you count? I guess, yeah, Splatoon. At this point, yeah, sure, we could count that. We can count that. We can count those. Pick a skill card, start with, gimme. Splatoon, right? Lose 6 max HP. HP. I don't know why I did that. I should have been attacking you in the back. My bad. But yeah, I've not played any of them on like my own Switch. I don't even own a Switch anymore. But like, all of them that I've played over at friends' houses or other people's consoles, right? So, well, I've had my own experience, and not bad by any means. It's just, I'm trying to penny pinch. I'm waiting for Steam sales 24/7, all day, every day. That's me, right? And that's not a bad way to be about it. That's not a bad way to be about it, especially because it's like, oh, I'm not playing the brand new, latest game released. It's like, I never was going to, honestly. I never was going to. Like, you think when FF16 drops, I'm gonna be there day one? Yeah, even if I was, well, I wouldn't be playing it here on the channel because of my stupid self-imposed rule. And I would be like, well, I mean, I can't really play, FF16. It's 16, right? Yeah, because 15 in the boy band. I can't really play 16 without playing 1, which, I'm down to play Final Fantasy 1. Not, the OG Final Fantasy 1, because, oof. Well, I think I'm going to be sick just thinking about that. So I'm down to play Final Fantasy 1. I'm down to play Final Fantasy 2. 3? Yeah, I'd never actually have played what was it? I think it got a DS remake, which I did own. Which reminds me that I was talking about the DS versus the PSP. I'll get back to that. Yeah, I just want to go over the Final Fantasies. So I'm down to play 1. I'm down to play 2. I'm down to play 3. Because I've never actually played the 3 remake or whatever it is. 4? I mean, I don't know why I wouldn't be down to play 4. 5? Yeah. Actually, hold on. One of those, I don't remember which, and it might even be 6 too. But those are like the older ones that never got anything for them, right? Like 1 and 2, my first time playing Final Fantasy 1 and 2 was on Exhaust 1 Card Draw 2. Wait a minute. Yo. But yeah, my first time playing Final Fantasy 1 and 2, in fact, I think it was my first experience playing Final Fantasy, period, was on the Game Boy Advance when they got released. They got released as a combo game, which, bro, those games are classic. They are great RPGs, and I just want to be like, yo, they came in a combo pack. They came as a twofer. Remove this. I don't know why I picked it up. They came as a combo pack. They came as a twofer. 2 in 1. I don't remember if they were on the same, cartridge, which would be crazy at the time, for the time, right? If, they could do that with Game Boy Advance games, especially like a game that was previously like the big game for the NES, right? Or was it SNES? I don't know. I never played the originals. I only played the remake or remaster or whatever it was. And it's like, I bring up RPGs and, 2 games because Pokemon, even to this day, Pokemon, you want both games? Nah, we can't double up for you. None of that. Not a single game. And I think, I could be wrong, because, I haven't played a Pokemon game since, I think, Black and White 2. Even then, I don't even think I finished that. I think the last Pokemon game I finished was like, what came before Black and White? Like Black and White, Diamond and Pearl? No, wait. Yeah, maybe it was Diamond and Pearl. Might have been the last Pokemon games I actually beat. But like, I don't know, man. I could be wrong, because, I'm an outsider at this point. But I think they've stopped releasing the 3rd versions. And so now, if you want them, you just got to get both games, right? But I could be wrong. I don't remember. I remember it being like Pokemon X and Y. And people were talking about a Z. And I don't think the Pokemon Z ever happened. That's why I say that. And then, what was it? Sun and Moon were the last ones. did... No, I can't think of, like, I wouldn't have played it and gotten it anyway, but I don't think there was another version. There was Sun, Moon, wait, there was Ultra Sun and Ultra, yo, that is, look, yo, it's the biggest, like, what is it, the biggest gaming franchise or something on the planet. I can't complain. I can't say anything. I don't buy it, so, you know, all I am is a hater at that point. All I am is a hater. Mostly, I want to say mostly because once upon a time, sure, I was fine with it, because I want the one buying the games. Now that I have to buy the game myself, yeah, I'm kind of salty about it. I'm kind of little salt about it at the end of the day. I'm not gonna pretend. What else was I gonna say? Right, back to the PSP versus the DS. Wait, no, there was something else. What was I even talking about before I got sidetracked by talking about Pokemon? What would have led me to talking about Pokemon? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I 100% don't remember. Oh, it's awful. But DS versus PSP, look, the DS won. It won handedly. Like, it won super hard. It did a victory lap around the PSP. Like, what was it? The PSP had the PSP 1000, 2000, 3000. I want to be like the DS, not DSi. There was like a contender versus, how did I say this? Like the DS had like 15 different versions. I remember that. There was the DSi, the DS Lite, the, how was it? Not the 3DS. There was like another one that came out before that even. And the PSP was like not, you know, innocent. It also busted out with the many versions and iterations. Shop? Shop. But yeah, the PSP, you know, not innocent. It busted out with many iteration in itself. But like, why do you even mention that? Why do you even bring up the many iterations of the game systems? I don't know. But on to the actual point, like, yes, the DS stomped the PSP. It just did, right? I'm not a fan of how that turned out, mostly because I played both, and it's not that the DS, you know, lacked quality titles. It's just that the point I was, and you know what, even now, because I could just load up a DS emulator right now, or a PSP emulator right now, and I could tell you, that even to this day, there's still more PSP games on that list that I want to play and genuinely am interested in than there are DS games, right? That's just how it breaks down, even now, and especially back in the day. Especially then, like, I remember people talking about people who had their DSs, and I also had one, and it was like they were talking about, oh man, you gotta get this new Mario game, and I'm like, look, hot take, I don't care. Hot take, I don't care about a Mario 64 re-release on the DS that has, you know, oh, now you can play as Yoshi, Luigi, Wario. Don't get me wrong, I had the game. I had played the game. I never beat it, right? But I just didn't care. I think I got it, not because I actually went out of my way to get it and that I wanted it, but I had it because it was free with the... I had a facepalm at that. I thought I was upgrading a card. I thought I was... Well, let's go lose to the boss real quick. But yeah, I had it because it came in a combo pack with the DS that I got. I think that's what it was. But yeah, I remember going to the store and being like, hey, I've got some pocket change. Let's pick up a game for my DS. And I just went and looked through all of the games on the shelf at the local GameStop, and I came out empty-handed. Because I'm like, there's nothing here I want on the DS at that point in time. Now, you know, with hindsight and, you know, being able to just load up a list of all of the DS games, especially because, you know, I'm talking about, I don't know, 5-6 months into the DS life cycle. So, you know, very different landscape. So, you know, with hindsight, now I can think of quite a few DS games that I would want to play and have played. Was Rune Factory 3 on the DS, or am I thinking 3DS? Because Rune Factory 3 is like the game I put the most hours into for DS games. Like, I beat that game like 4 or 5 times. I remember getting Rune Factory 1, right? No, wait. I got one of them. I got either Rune Factory 1 or 2 because I was like, man, I sure do love Rune Factory 3. Take and give. Receive Iron Wave and give a store card. Wait. Receive Iron Wave and store card. Sure? But yeah. What was it saying? Right, I got Rune Factory 2 because I loved 3 so much, and oh man, was that was tough. It's like if you played freaking Final Fantasy 7, you know what, pick any number of Final Fantasies, you know, past 1, 2, maybe 3. And it's like, man, I sure do love this Final Fantasy 9 game. I want to go back and play Final Fantasy 1 now. And, oh no, you are not ready for it. Or, you know, back to the Pokemon thing. It's like, man, I sure do love this Pokemon. What's the latest one? Not Arceus. Arceus? Yo, I've been out of it too long. I have. But that's not the latest one. It's not Sun and Moon. What is it called? I literally just drew fan art of it. I'm not even making a joke. I literally just drew fan art of it. Of the mom, because Pokemoms are... Yo, if you can give Pokemon anything, it's them designs, though. Them designs. But whatever the latest Pokemon is like if you played that, and you were like, man, I sure would love to play... Pokemon Emerald after that, and it's like, no you don't, no you won't, no you don't want to play that, because it is archaic in design by comparison. And that was Rune Factory 2 to 3, okay, 2 to 3, and Rune Factory kept going. There's even a PS3 one, I think, I could be wrong, or maybe I'm thinking of a Harvest Moon game. Harvest Moon fell off, Rune Factory came in, and I like fell in love with those games. And then it's just Rune Factory 4 or 5 is like the latest one released on, and it's on Steam, right? I have it wishlisted. Let me catch it on sale, I promise you. But by my own stupid rule, I would have to play Rune Factory 1 and 2. What is this? Pick up, raise max health. Yo, I got tons of health. Just, you know, not in a good spot though. Left or right, left or right, left or right. Well, there's only one right option left. Strawberry. Raise your max. We got 105 max health, and we just aren't healed up. And we just aren't gonna get there, are we? Viewing draw pile. At the start of your turn, at the start of combat, apply vulnerable to one enemy. Wait, to all enemies. First time you lose health, each combat draw 3 cards. The Millennium Puzzle. Hold up. What's in here? Right. Remove an attack. Or we want to remove generic defenses. Or we're going to remove this. Get out of here. Oh. Pass. Save our money. What was I talking about? Oh, getting sidetracked again. Heal me. Don't hurt me. It's gonna hurt me. It's gonna hurt me. What did I say? What did I literally say? So anyway. Anywho. Rune Factory. I mean... I just remembered. I did play a game that was kind of sequel-esque before playing the OG version, or the first game. I played Hunicam Studio, and I kind of want to go back and play it again. I'm not gonna lie. I love me a good management game, and it's right up my alley, right? I say I love management games, and you know, I get recommended things like, oh man, you should play this tycoon game, and I'm like, that ain't it. That is not the type of game I'm into. I'm just into Hunicam, so it's like, you love mature borderline hentai management games, and it's like, no, that's not the specific. It's just something. I don't know how to describe it, but something in a management game. Potionomics, yo. If we were talking about my game of the year, I think I mentioned this in the little Hades run thing. Potionomics for me. I've put like 40 hours into Potionomics for no reason, because that game has virtually no replay value whatsoever, right? I've just been playing the crap out of it, and it's insane. It's insane. My very first playthrough of Potionomics was like, okay, my very first playthrough of Potionomics was fun. It was the first playthrough, and then after that first playthrough, I was like, because you start out, you know, you start the game, and it's a management game, and you're overwhelmed and all of this, but you keep playing long enough, and you just discover the code. Or at least I did. And so by the end of my first playthrough, I was, you know, I basically had broken the game at that point, because I was just destroying it. And so, you know, despite it having, I'm going to keep saying that it had no damn replay value. Despite that, I did play through a second time just to see if I could break it even harder, right? If I could get to the same end game point faster, I definitely did. And then I replayed it a third time to make a perfect save file, because it is a relationship building management sim too, or a dating sim management sim style game, right? So I played it that time because first playthrough as well as the second, I didn't romance everybody, so I played a third time to make a dating save file where everybody is basically at the point of maxing out their affection, and that's what I made a third file for. And then I made a fourth playthrough to make the ultimate save file where everybody could reach max level. And so yeah, I have about, I don't know, I want to say like 45 hours in Potionomics. And honestly, if you were going to base, if people had like the Spotify thing, right, but on Steam, and it was like, hey, your game of the year based on your playtime would be, my game of the year would probably be Potionomics, despite the fact that, I want to rant about that game so bad, like rant, but I'm not going to. I will save it for the Potionomics playthrough, which I will inevitably do. It'll be more of a guide video. I've never made a guide. Well, actually, no. I've made a guide for one thing other than But it won't even be a guide. It'll just be a stomp. It'll be like, hey, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to beat the game, and it's going to be effortless. That's what it'll amount to being, right? Yeah, remember the last run when I had like 150 health? That was crazy. This started gain 2 strength. All enemies gain 1. At the start of combat, apply 1 vulnerable. Whenever a skill is added to your deck, upgrade it. Give me strength. And remove a defend. A strike? Yeah, we need to remove all of these. Get out of here. Ugh. Not you. Not you. Wake up. What happened to the... Oh, there it is. I was like, what happened to the music? Wait a minute. Shh. Yo, what happened to the music? Whatever, back to my ranting. You ain't delaying me. Although, what will delay me is I forgot what I was talking about once again. Potionomics? Okay, but what did that stem from? Rune Factory, okay. What did that stem from? Something about Pokemon. Okay, where did that stem from? DS versus PSP. Yo, we're back on this. So yeah. Basically all it amounts to is I absolutely love the library of PSP games in comparison to the DS. That's all it amounted to. It didn't need to take, 30 minutes and 3 runs of Slay the Spire to say that or to convey that, but that's where we are. That's how it turned out. Right? Who is you? Think you gonna roll up on me like this? So yeah, and the best part about it, or the worst part about it, depending on how you want to look at it, is that I actually because like I said, I had a, what do we call it, a modded, a hacked, a bricked PSP. I don't know, bricked means it didn't work, right? I had a PSP, crazy. I had a PSP that I could play Japanese games on, right? And there's plenty of games out there that are like, or that were past tense, like they aren't out in America, they aren't coming out. Like Type 0 was one of them. I forget the dude's name because obviously I would. You know how long it's been? But there was somebody who was actually translating Type 0, and hey, they never finished, I don't believe, but they got really close. And I remember playing through Type 0 again and again every time they would update and add more to their translation, their fan translation. Good times. But there are plenty of PSP games that never got full-blown fan translations. That sucks, right? But I still played them nonetheless, and I had a great time, and I wish, and they never came out, right? They never came out in the West, and I wish they did. One of them was like Last Ranker, which, look, at the time, it appealed to me as a fun, like anime-esque game, right? Deal damage equal to your block. I guess we should be picking this thing up. And when I say anime-esque game, I mean like it's got an anime-style plot. You know, in an anime, you can have a plot where it's like, you're assigned number at birth is your rank. You have to defeat other people to raise in rank. That type of deal. That's some anime plot right there. Apply 3 vulnerable. Do it. Choose a card in your discard pile and return it to your hand. Deal damage equal to your block. Do this. Do this. Do this. Do that. Yeah, optimal. But yeah, There was a game last Ranker. It was not the best, but I had a lot of fun playing through like the first, I don't know, 3 hours of the game, because that's all that ever got translated, right? Back then. I feel like there was a game that was like, not Soul Binding or Soul Exchange. That's like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. There was a really good game. Or not a, I don't know, there was a really good game. There was just like this one game that I had a ton of fun playing on the PSP. It was completely in Japanese too. Just a lot of them. So much fun. So much fun. I am genuinely upset that, you know, that's how things went down. You can no longer retain potions. I don't care about potions. Get out of here. I'm genuinely upset that the PSP lost as hard as it did, because, man, I had such a fun time. I had such a blast with the damn PSP. It was not even close. Not even a contest between the two consoles. What was I talking about before the PSP? Sonic Frontiers, maybe? Yo, this is just the ramblingest thing ever, right? So, I should have killed you. Frontiers. Oh, right. I take 1 less damage, which means you do no damage. Suckers. You suckers. Get rid of you. 5 times 5? Oh, wait. What? So weird. What was it saying? Right, Sonic Frontiers. Look, I'm not down on Frontiers. I was about to say great game. Do I think it's a great game? I would say Frontiers is great for a Sonic game. And even then, if I have to be honest, I think ethereal and intangible. So I can become intangible 5 times. But I lose 40 max health? Man. Oh wait, ethereal. Hold up. Can I not look at this card? I can't click it. I think ethereal means that if it's in my hand, I have to play it. I don't want that. That's actually a waste to pick up. Let me see. The effect of X cards are increased by 2. Don't have any. At the start of combat, heal 2 health. Blah, blah, blah. Get rid of you. And onward. So as I was saying, something about Sonic Frontiers, right? I think Sonic Frontiers is a great Sonic game, but even that's pretty polarizing, because it's like, you have to think about the other Sonic games that I would potentially be comparing it to as of yet. I'm still that one guy who's like, yeah, y'all ain't topped Adventure 2 to date. I'm still that guy. I'm still right here. Right? But yeah, the thing I want to say about Frontiers, and like, it should be obvious if you are a Sonic fan, if you've played a ton of Sonic games, and I could be wrong, you know, I can't even name the last 5 Sonic games that came out. I can name 5 Sonic games, most definitely. 5 that I think are recent, but the last 5 specifically, right? But what I want to say is, and the way I want to put it is, the last game that I can think of in the Sonic franchise that even had a 2 at the end was like Adventure 2. I mean, technically, if you want to count, Sonic, what was it, Sonic 4 Episode 2, you can, I guess. But even then, that's pretty insane, right? That Sonic games have just not iterated, right? And it's regardless of like reception or success, because Sonic Colors, like, regardless of how people are talking about it today, getting that Adventure 2 dragged through the mud thing happening, but regardless of how it was received at the time, or I mean, however it's perceived now, it was definitely well received at the time, and it was successful, I'm pretty sure. But despite that, we didn't get a Colors 2, and that's the thing I just am like, not, that's just the thing I want to keep in mind when we're talking about, oh, Frontier's great, everybody's, you know, I want to say that the reception of it's really good for the most part. And it's like, yeah, but the last 2 for a mainline Sonic game was Adventure 2, I'm pretty sure. There was no Colors 2, no Generations 2, unless you want to consider Forces that, which, up to you. Up to you. Forces seemed very polarizing. And you had love-hate going on for it a lot of the time. But, yeah. No Colors 2, no Lost World 2, no Secret Rings 2, no... And the list goes on. And so, when it comes to Frontiers, I'm like, regardless of how well received it is, or how much, you know, anybody likes it, or how, you know, good the sales are, I honestly would not bet on Sonic Team making Frontiers 2. I would love it if they did, most definitely. But like their track record is to just, I don't know that I'd say throw everything out, because if they threw everything out, we wouldn't have Boost Formula games, right? We wouldn't have the Wisp coming back again and again. That wouldn't be the case. So they don't necessarily throw everything out, but like, let's not pretend with this. Okay. But let's not pretend that they don't just abandon ship a lot of the time, and in a major way. Or at least that's, you know, how I feel. And so Frontiers 2, I know a ton of things that can come from it that would make it like an amazing game. It could be debatably the best Sonic game, you know, but that depends on what they are going to do, right? And like I said, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I don't think that I would bet on getting a actual Frontiers 2. I genuinely don't believe I'd bet for that, or bet in favor of that. And it seems like, you know, that's a slam dunk. That's the obvious thing to do. But, you know, it's Sonic Team, bro. It's Sonic Team. You never know. You never know. You're spinning a roulette wheel. But yeah, so talking about Frontiers, still keep it on the Frontiers train. Like, one of the things about Frontiers is like, even now, like, regardless, I think that Frontiers does not look great, right? And I'm not even talking about performance or like the actual look of the game. When I say it doesn't look great, I mean I don't like the style the game chose to go with, right? And just littering stuff throughout the open world. And so I think we have, and where I think, you know, a Frontiers 2 could do some incredible work, personally, is if we get a, like, from, what was it, 06, right? If you remember 06, in Sonic 06, you had, you know, all the realistic humans, kind of keeping in, remember it's hers is the same, kind of keeping in with the adventure games, right? But, you know, better looking, obviously. But in 06, you know, Eggman, everything is super realistic looking, or at least going for that. Whereas when we come to Unleashed, yeah, going there, Unleashed, I think, fixed it. I think the DreamWorks, Pixar, cartoonish humans is the art style and the art direction that I would vote, you know, to keep the Sonic franchise going in that direction, right? If you're going to include, you know, humans in an open world, and, you know, Sonic running around with you know, actual little kids and adults, a la, well, I would say Mario Odyssey, but like Unleashed and most Sonic games that do that predate Odyssey. So, did Mario rip off Sonic the Hedgehog? No, none of that. But I do want to be like, is this the first boss or the second? Second, I believe. That could be wrong. But yeah, so, you know, when we went from, what is it, 06 to, or not 06. Well, yeah. When we went from 06 to Unleashed, I think that was a upgrade. I genuinely do. I think that was a positive step for like the visuals and the aesthetic of the franchise. And the thing I wanted to mention, and the reason I even bring it up now when I'm talking about Forces, is that I'm like, if you did a Forces, I would rather have Sonic running around, not a, you know, what looks like a take on a real, yeah, it's hard to be like, oh, this is the game going for realism or realistic, because, you know, the argument or whatever knockback against that is like, it doesn't look realistic, but you know what I mean, and what they're going for aesthetically. And so, I mean, personally, I would love if the open world that you're running around in looked, you know, the part of a Sonic world and not, you know, I don't know, a Unity engine, like, survival game, a survival crafting game, really? Remove 2 cards from your deck? Actually, if I get to pick what 2 cards they are, this is great. Yeah, get rid of these. I hate this boss. So yeah, I would love if, you know, Frontiers looked the part. And I'm certain that, well, okay, I can't say that, but like the Sonic modding community is like crazy, and in a good way. Like, they're insane. And yo, shout outs to Sega and Sonic Team, you know, for letting it go and leaving them to their own devices and letting them do, you know, the amazing stuff that they do. And so it is not, I was gonna say it's not unheard of, but it's like, it is the norm for whatever the latest, greatest Sonic game to come out to be modded. Don the red mask. Oh, because I have the red mask, I can do this. Nice. But yeah, it's not, or it is the norm for the next Sonic game to just be modded ridiculously. Like, I think, what is it, 06 to this day and Unleashed are still being modded, right? Every time attack deals double damage. Whenever you shuffle your draw, block, blah, blah, blah. Start with 1 dexterity. Let me see something. The map. Am I gonna hit another shop? I am. Don't go broke here. Buy this. Get this out. And roll. So, the mods that are going to happen for freaking Frontiers, that's it. That's all. That's everything. The mods that are going to come out for Frontiers are going to be absolutely insane. And I don't know how easy or hard it's going to be, but here's hoping that somebody, you know, like, it feels the same way I do, where it's like, hey, Frontiers, great, but it could be a lot better if, say, we get a Sonic-looking world surrounding with these things. So, you know, when you see a bounce pad or a spring out in the world, it doesn't look completely out of place, right? You got realistic take on trees with a cartoonish Sonic spring next to it, right? Oof. We're actually in a too good of a spot. We're wasting campfires. I believe if I kill you, the fight is done. But I could be wrong. And so, yeah, I don't even know how you would make the aesthetic of, like, what is it? The aesthetic of Frontiers, like, more, it's cartoony, how you would say it? Like, do I think Sonic looks particularly out of place? I don't know. There's just something off about Sonic running around in Frontiers for like the first hour. Like, you would inevitably just get used to it, right? But still. Aww. And here I thought we were in a good spot. I was not paying attention. Oh, more stuff up, though. Yeah, I need to check the recording. So, Rambles will continue. Probably not right now. Because, like, I was just talking about Sonic Frontiers, and I think I set my piece. My piece is that my only big gripe with Frontiers is, like, the aesthetic, and I feel like, you know, if you're gonna go big open world, we can do a lot more. We can have a lot more going on. So, and, like, there's hardly any reason to ever complain about that. I mean, it's to get to the ears of the actual game developers, but the fans and the fandom that's gonna make, like, the mods for the game, they're gonna go crazy. So if you have Frontiers, especially on PC, like, get ready. Get ready. I don't know how long it's gonna take for them to go crazy, but prepare to be playing as Amy, prepare to be playing as Shadow, prepare to have the Wisp show up and you get their powers. Just get ready for it. It's gonna be crazy. And I'm gonna love it.